Hi y'all, my name is Kayla Natalie. I'm a birth doula. Let's talk about tips for an unmedicated birth. I asked you guys over on my Instagram what you wanted me to do a video about, and overwhelmingly said you wanted me to do a video about unmedicated birth tips. And as someone that has had an unmedicated birth and someone that has also helped other people have an unmedicated birth, I wanted to give you some of my tips. So I'm going to talk about how to prepare for an unmedicated birth. There's a lot that goes into an unmedicated birth that a lot of people don't see or don't realize, and a lot of it is a mental game. There is a lot of mental preparation that you have to do in order to really be able to successfully have an unmedicated birth. There are several things that you can do to mentally prepare. And I know that a lot of people want to focus on the physical, like, oh, let's physically prepare, but really where you want to start is mental, because it truly is a mental game. Once you are in labor, you are going to be battling your brain constantly, and you have to be able to refocus your brain and retrain your brain into focusing on the contractions and what is going on during labor. I want you to go and find some birth affirmations. There are so many birth affirmations that I love. One of the ones that I love the most is, I can do anything for 1 minute at a time. That's what I said during my unmedicated birth. That truly helped me, because when you think of it as 1 minute at a time, as opposed to a 12-hour labor, let's say, when you think of it in 12 hours, you're like, I can't do 12 hours of contractions. But when you think of it in one singular minute, you're like, okay, that sounds doable. I'm actually going to place a few different birth affirmations that I tell my clients, or that my clients use, or that I used during my unmedicated birth on the screen. That way you can have an idea, but there are so many online that you can go look at. You just have to figure out which ones will work for you. Another thing that I want you to do is do ice holds. I'm going to explain what that is. I want you to take a handful of ice in both hands, and I want you to hold them in your hands for 1 minute at a time. This is going to help train your brain into focusing on your breath. During this time, you can do your breathing exercises. There are so many different breathing exercises that I'm actually going to do a video about that you can do during labor. And so I want you to practice doing those and practice focusing on your breathing during this time. And with the ice holds, you are going to hold that ice in your hand for 1 minute at a time. If you've ever held ice in your hand for 1 minute at a time, it can be kind of painful, uncomfortable, and that's what we want your body to get ready for. That's what your brain is preparing for, because contractions last 1 minute long, and having ice in your hands for 1 minute at a time can try and trick your brain into getting into that routine. Essentially, this lets you practice labor without actually going through labor. Another thing you can do that kind of has the same exact theory behind it is you can use combs in your hands. You can also use these combs during the actual labor. That way your brain focuses on your hands. I'm going to get into that in just a second, but you can also hold combs in your hands, having the little, what is that called? the teeth of the comb on your hand, and squeezing it. And this can help your brain go into, oh, I need to focus on my breathing when I feel this. And yes, you can also use this trick during the actual labor as well. They actually have birth combs that they make, but you can just use a regular comb. That's what I did. But you would just hold the comb in your hand, you squeeze it when you're having a contraction. It actually helps trick your brain into focusing on your hands instead of the contraction. It's kind of like a whole mind trick, honestly. Some people say it works, some people say it didn't work for them, so you just have to figure out what works for you. And that is really the big takeaway that I want you to get from this video, is that not everything is going to work for you. And there are some things that are great, that is going to be golden for you during labor and birth and postpartum. But there are a lot of things that may not work for you. You may get into labor, you may try these things, and you may go, okay, we got to switch this up because none of my coping skills are working. And that is why it is so important to fill your labor bag, your mental labor bag, with a ton of different tools, because there are some tools that are just not going to work for you, and that is okay. You can try them. You can go, nope, I don't like that, and you can throw it away. Throw it out of that mental birth bag, okay? And I want you to stuff that birth bag full of all of the tools that you may need and keep going through them. Find what works for you. Find what doesn't work for you. And once you get into labor, those things might also change as well. The next tip is meditation. They actually make birth meditation that is like specifically for birth. They have hypnobirthing if you want to do that as well. Hypnobirthing is kind of like a hypnosis that they can like put you into during birth. That's what it says it's supposed to do. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. It just really depends on the person. But you can do meditation. This is just really good in general as like a general tip for pregnancy, birth, postpartum. And you can just like stuff that into your birth bag again. And again, if it doesn't work for you, that is okay too. A lot of what meditation is breathing. It's just focusing on your breathing. And so that is why meditation is super, super important to go into labor with. That way you know how to get into that meditative state. You know how to get into that hypnotic state. You know how to get into that relaxed state. And that is why it's super important during your pregnancy to learn all of these things. That way, when you actually get into labor and you go, okay, I can just go into my meditation state. It's also important to know that some of these things may work until a certain point. You may get to 4 or 5 centimeters and something is no longer working for you. You may get into transition and something is no longer working for you. It is okay to also say, okay, this worked for me for a little bit. I need something else now. Another way that you can prepare is childbirth classes. They have childbirth classes at hospitals, at your OB/GYN's office. There are so many different ways that you can get a childbirth class. You can even do a childbirth class through online. I have my own childbirth class that I am getting prepared for right now. So I will have all the details down there when it is ready. But childbirth classes are amazing. It teaches you all the things you need to know and all the things that you need to do in order to prepare for birth. And I think the biggest thing that is going to help you during your unmedicated birth is having support. Whether that is your partner or hiring a doula, having someone that is there that knows about birth, has knowledge about birth, and is able to help you through the laboring process is so extremely important. If your baby daddy, Greg, is a turd, don't invite him, okay? Don't invite him. Hire a birth doula. That is what we are there for. And if you think that you cannot afford a doula, I promise there are doulas that actually do payment plans. I do payment plans as well. Check in your area. There are affordable doulas. I promise you. If you like this type of video, please follow along for more. Please subscribe. Go follow all of my links. I will have them below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.